Welcome to Book Buzz with Jen and Payne, a podcast focused on romance books. And we're here to talk about those romance books that leave us breathless. Make sure you tune in every Wednesday because we're also going to be giving out book recommendations and reviewing new book releases. Hi, we're back. We took a little break last week because Payne was out of town. Plus, due to Easter, we decided to take a little, 1 week break. But we're back and we're so excited to go back to talking about the books that we've been down to talk about. In case you missed it, we did announce last week we are going to be interviewing 𝐂𝐮𝐞𝐬𝐧𝐬 this upcoming week, and we are dropping a post on Instagram where you can submit your questions. If you want to ask a question, just head over to our Instagram. Our handle is at Book Buzz Podcast, and drop your questions in the post that we're going to add up, and we'll ask her anything you guys want to know. We are so excited. We are nervous. Well, at least I'm nervous. I don't know about Payne, but I'm nervous.
I'm nervous.
But I'm very, very excited. We are going to be interviewing her this week. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm nervous. But most of all, I'm so excited to talk about Could Have Been Us, which, by the way, I have it in my Kindle. And I read chapter 1. And I don't even want to talk about it. That's how it started.
Yep.
Like... Just when you think you found a book that 𝐂𝐮𝐞𝐬𝐧𝐬 breaks your heart in, she goes and does another one where you're like, oh no, she's just ripping it more apart. But That's what she does. Anyways, I'm so excited. And so make sure you go to our Instagram so you can drop any questions that you have for her. For this week's episode, we are going to be talking about, again, our current reads, what we just finished reading, what we're reading. And we're also going to be focusing on our favorite book covers.
Yes.
I have a lot.
I do too.
I have a lot. Stick around and I hope you enjoyed today's podcast.
This past week, I surprised actually read quite a lot. Hopefully no one at work are not listening because the guy who works with me went on vacation. So I pretty much read all week at work. That's probably why I read so many books this past week. I'll talk about at least 2 that I read. I was dying for Reparation of Sin. That's book 2 by Natasha Knight and 𝐂𝐨𝐵𝐺𝐵. That book, I am speechless. Okay, I don't think I've ever been this mad at a hero before, to the point that I cried because I was so mad at him. I was like, he better beg and kneel for forgiveness because, oh my gosh, I was reading, I was so mad, I cried. I felt so bad for her. And I think this is the first book that I felt like that against a hero because I'm
you
usually
always take the hero side.
Yes, I always take the hero side. And this time, okay, I know he went through a lot, but the way how he treated her, oh my goodness, I wanted to strangle him so bad, but it was so good. It kept me at the edge of my seat. I'm pretty sure I read that in one day at work. I couldn't put it down. It was so good, but at times I feel like it was quite frustrating because they don't really talk to each other. Like they keep having secrets. So it was quite frustrating. It was like, just tell him or her the truth. Like, oh my goodness. But oh my gosh, okay. I'm not going to spoil it, but what he did at the end, it's not him doing it to her, but it's him kind of redeeming himself towards the end of that book. It broke me too. I was like, oh my goodness. Because he's someone he went through a lot. If you read book 1, he lost his dad and his brother and pretty much his mom a while after that. There's only him and his sister left. So
why are you making excuses for the bad boys?
I'm not making excuses. This is the reason why he is the way he is, okay? So, okay, well, see, this is why I keep going back and defend the guy. But just letting you know, I am for her this. But then, see, at the end, she got me annoyed. But at the beginning, I got mad at him. And then at the end, I love him again. But, it's complicated. You have to read it to understand it. But that book, I can't wait to book 3. Oh my goodness.
And that's the reason I haven't read it, because I'm waiting for the 3rd book.
The cliffhanger will kill you.
See, that's why I'm
It killed
waiting.
me.
I'd rather binge read it than...
I need to talk to someone, so you have to read it soon.
I'll pick up the first 2 books this week.
And then wait with me with the ending, because, oh my gosh, it's killing me.
Those cliffhangers are the worst.
Yes, it is. And my other book that I want to talk about, The Glass Slipper by Kay Webster. I was dying for the last book, and it felt like forever just waiting for this book to be released. And I finished it, and I love it so much. Oh my gosh. Winston. I don't know if I'm Team Constantine or Team Morelli. What team are you? I'm undecided.
I think I'm leaning more towards Morelli.
See, I love Lucien and Leo so much, but oh my gosh, like the sibling love for the Constantine, especially between Perry and Winston. I love those 2 brothers so much, especially if you read The Glass Slipper. But Lucien and Leo are 2 really bad boys that I just love so much too. So I'm undecided which team I'm on. I don't know, because I read this and I'm on Team Constantine, but when I was reading on Lucien and Leo's book, I'm Team Morelli. But I don't know. Let us know down below which team you guys are on if you guys read these series. This trilogy surpassed pretty much almost everything. I think the twist in The Glass Slipper, I did not saw it coming.
That whole series was really good. It kept you on the edge, and it's like it had you hooked from the first page.
Yes. Like, you just can't help but just love Winston. Like, Winston can be a really big douche and jerk, the way how he treated Ash, but oh my gosh. Like, he has the biggest heart ever, too. I love Winston. That kinky, weird hero. I love.
That's what I was about to tell you. Like, yeah, but he's very, like, kinkily weird, if that's a word. Like, I remember reading some stuff, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What am I reading?
Yep. It's so good. I highly recommend the Cinderella trilogy by Kay Webster.
Those covers are gorgeous.
Yes. I'm pretty sure if I didn't read the blurb, I saw the cover, I will pick it up.
Yeah.
Because I just love the covers so much. Yeah.
They're really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am dying. I am literally, I was left without words. And I think the book that I just finished left me in a book funk. Because I reread it twice.
Oh, wow.
Like, back to back. I finished The Touch of a Villain by Holly Renee. Oh my God. First of all, so I guess she had announced that this book, well, spoiler alert if you didn't know like I did, I need to start paying more attention to social media. So I went into it thinking it was just a 1-book series, and that maybe any other book following it was a standalone book. No.
It's a trilogy?
No, I think it's a duet.
Oh, okay.
I hope it's a duet. I can't take any more cliffhangers. Like, I am shocked. I'm speechless. This book was phenomenal. I remember I cried at the end. I cried, like bawling, crying. And I texted you. I remember talking about this earlier in some earlier episodes. The cover is gorgeous. And I was so excited for this book because of the cover. I've been putting it off just because I was trying to catch up on my arcs. When I catched up, I was like, you know what? Let me pick it up. I'll read it. I read chapter 1 and I couldn't put it down. I kid you not. It was like 2 a.m. on a Thursday. I think it was on a Friday. And I was reading it like at 2, 3 a.m. I could not put it down. This book, I can't just say I loved it because I more than loved it. If you haven't read it, I recommend this one so freaking much. It's so good. So this book was about Josie and Beck. Josie, I felt for her so much. So she's moving back to Clermont Bay to stay with her dad and her stepbrother. And she's this heroine who's just trying to go to school, do what she has to do, and then once she graduates, she's gonna leave. Like, she wants no drama. She's this amazing, sweet girl. They're in high school, so this is a young adult book.
Okay.
And then she meets Beck. Beck is a definition of a-hole. So the story is, she moves to town, rich family. Her stepbrother and Beck, which is the hero, do not like each other. To reason why, I won't spoil it here in case anybody wants to read it, but Beck is out for revenge. And he focuses on Josie to get revenge on her dad and her stepbrother. He is so mean to her, but at the same time, you can't help to love him. I was so mad towards the end because I was like, I love him. He's all for her. He's gonna forget his whole revenge thing, etc., etc. And then Holly goes and throws a twist at the end. I legit cried.
He did something to her, didn't he?
I'm not gonna spoil it. But I was ugly crying. Like, oh God, what did you do? I was speechless. I've been on a reading funk, kind of, and this book got me out of that funk. But like I said, after I finished it, I reread it. And I still cried at that ending, no matter if I had just finished it and this was my second read through. This book was so good. It was so, so, so good. I recommend it. I haven't told you you should read it.
Yeah.
And the second one comes out in June 10th.
That is a long wait from now.
Tell me about it. I am dying. I'm just like, April, hurry up, please.
Yeah.
We need to get towards the end of May. No, but the book was phenomenal. Holly Renee has literally become one of my favorite authors. The way she writes, it's so, you're in the character's head, seeing what they're seeing, you're feeling what they're feeling. And it's like the ending of that book, girl, my heart broke when Josie's heart broke. I literally want to cry just thinking about it, because I was just like, I can't believe it ended that way. I can't believe it ended that way. And I should have waited. I still recommend you guys pick it up. That way you guys can suffer with me with that cliffhanger, because I don't want to be the only one suffering. And I do remember when it released, everybody was talking about how shocked they were with that ending. I thought it was like, oh my gosh, it's such an amazing ending that everybody's shocked. Haha. They're laughing at me for thinking that.
Yeah.
No, an ending never has gotten me like that.
Wow.
I was so shocked. I know you don't read a lot of young adult books, but you need to read this one. Beck is that character that you're gonna love to hate, because he's so mean. But then you start seeing a side of him that you're like, okay, maybe he's changing his whole mindset is changing. Then he does something and you're like, oh my gosh, he's such an a-hole. And then you change, like, you go back and forth. So again, it's like a love-hate relationship with you and Beck.
Yeah.
But loved it, recommend it, deserves so much more than 5 stars. If I could, I would totally give it more than 5 stars. I am dying for book 2. Okay. So when book 2 releases, whenever I read it, I'm going to do a whole podcast on that book, because let me tell you, the way it ended, I am to be a fly on Holly's wall. Wow. I'm dying here. Another book that I just finished literally like this morning was The Perfect Risk by 𝐂𝐨 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻. She is a new author to me. I discovered her because a bunch of authors got together to write a series for the Mason Creek series. It's different authors. I believe it's going to be 12 books. Each book, it's on a different character. It's based on the same small town with different characters. All these covers on this series are really, really good. So when the first one released, I read the blurb and it sounded so intriguing. So I picked it up, loved it. It's more of a I wouldn't call it enemies to lovers because they don't last enemies that long, but it
Mm-hmm.
is for sure a second chance. It's about Sadie coming back to a town she left behind years ago to help out her mom and dad. She lived in LA. LA, never felt like home, so she's back to her small town roots. I loved her. She was so funny. I felt for her just because, you're trying to make the best of things in a situation that it's hard. Her mom was in
Mm-hmm.
an accident, so she had to go back home. She moved away and, she was with the guy who ended up cheating on her, et cetera, et cetera. So she
Mm-hmm.
comes back to town. She's trying to find herself again. And she runs into Wyatt. She's known Wyatt since high school. I loved him. But once you find out what he did to her, you're going to hate him.
Oh my gosh. He better not cheat on her.
He didn't. Okay. Well, kinda. I don't know. It's not really cheating. They weren't dating. Okay. So if you haven't read it, well, it's not really a spoiler because I'm not telling you what happens in the book. I'm telling you what happened with their story. So when they were in high school, he was the jock, the popular guy,
Mm-hmm.
one who wanted to fit in, et cetera, et cetera. She was, I wouldn't call her the geek, more like
Uh-huh.
the person who would study, who just kept to herself. He asked her out, and on their date, while she was waiting for him, he went to go meet a cheerleader and kept her waiting. Yeah. Talk about my heart when I read that. I was like, what? My heart broke for her because when they bumped into each other after all these years
Mm-hmm.
and after everything that happened, he's a changed person. So the person he was in high school isn't the person who he is now. He's trying to change his image in her eyes because he's not the same
Mm-hmm.
person he was before.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants nothing to do with him. It's not that she hates him, it's just, it hurts. I mean, if a person did that to you, don't talk to me. And so that was I loved it. It was so good. Wyatt is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And he ends up becoming her landlord. So they keep running into each other.
Uh-huh.
So it was a very interesting book. I loved it. Again, my first book by this author, and
Mm-hmm.
it was amazing. And like I said, this is a series of standalones, and I'm so excited for the next book. I think each book is releasing every 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So the second book releases in 2 weeks because this one just released. It is so good. Totally recommend it. Again, as part of a series, but each book can be read as a standalone. I like reading the previous books though, just because I like to know the history of every thingamajiggy, but that's just, like I said earlier, I started reading Could Have Been Us.
Mm-hmm.
I've only read one chapter, and that's all I needed to know, that this book was going to be a tough one. And you already finished it.
Yep. Get tissues ready.
Tissues or wine bottle? I'm going to go with my wine bottle.
What? I didn't need it. No. I think tissues. For me, it was tissues. I needed tissues while reading it. Oh, it hurts. But it was so good.
Does it hurt more than Return to Us?
Oh, yeah. More. Return to Us was more of a sweet, cute read. And this one was heartfelt. Well, if you read the first chapter, you kind of know what happens.
Yeah.
So you kind of see where it's going to go. Like I said before, when it comes to families, it always hits me more.
Tissues and wine. That's what I'm going to be doing tonight.
Yeah.
Who cares about work tomorrow when you can read Corinne Michaels?
Going to work with all red, puffy eyes.
So that's going to be interesting. We'll talk about that one more in our interview with Corinne, though.
Yes. The quote says, "Never judge a book by its cover," but I break that rule so many times. There are times when I buy a book just because of the covers. And all these books, I usually buy it because I love it and I love the covers. One of the first one that introduced me to the author was The Devil in the Deep Blue Sea. I saw the cover and I read the blurb and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to read it.
That cover is really good.
Yes, I love this cover so much. And I love Poseidon. So this is one. And there's something about Skye Warren's cover that I always love. Like, it's not a guy or a girl, but I just love Overture's cover so much. Like, the violin and the feather. It's perfect. And the Red series by Catherine Cowles, but my favorite one have to be Perfect Wreckage. I just love the flowers.
I love her covers though.
Yeah, it's always perfect. Her covers. Another one, A Place Without You by Jewel. His
I still need to read
jaw.
that book.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you have to read it. I just love this cover so much. It's amazing. And the Dangerous Press series from the Midnight Dynasty, Relentless,
Love that
and
cover.
The Glass Slipper. These, like, I love the guy and the girl cover too, but the couple covers are everything.
Yes.
And one that I bought because of the cover. This is a new author to me too. I haven't read the book yet, but it's so pretty that I have to buy it.
Yes.
A Beauty So Cruel. Oh my gosh. I'm dying to read this book. It's a mafia romance. I'm dying to read it.
Well, I'm waiting for the whole series to be released.
Yes, me too. So I haven't read it because I don't want any cliffhangers. So I bought it, but I haven't read it. And this have to be the first paperback that I bought because I just love the cover so much. And if you remember, you actually went and got this book signed for me at Book Bonanza when
Megan Quinn?
No.
Oh, definitely paid
Tinsel.
Tinsel. Yes.
Yes. I love Tinsel so much. The cover, oh my gosh, it's perfection. Okay, Devney Perry's, all her covers are perfect. Like, every series. Her Teen Gypsy series, her Runaway series, those covers. Oh, it's to die for. I love all those covers. And then this one, The Predator by Runix. Oh my gosh, this cover, when I first saw it, I was like, that is to die for cover. And it's so amazing. And the series that got me into hockey, The Chase by Elle Kennedy. I love this cover so much. Even though it's not a guy, it's a girl. I think it's perfect for...
And it fits perfect for the story.
Yes. And Untainted by Shanora Williams. I believe these are the older covers. It's not even up on Amazon. I found it on Barnes & Nobles. But she said that she's going to bring it back. She's going to have it selling on her store again. Some of the last ones that I love, The Kiss Thief by LJ Shin. And I have to say, Playing with Fire is probably my favorite cover from LJ Shin. And Pretty Reckless, the limited edition one, the one with the football. Oh my gosh, this, yeah, all these covers. There are so many more covers, but these are the ones that I have on my bookshelf. And I just have to say, covers means a lot for a book too. Never judge a book by the cover, but I do a lot of times. And if the covers doesn't look good, I wouldn't want to pick up the book. But if the cover looks good, I would totally pick it up. So cover means a huge thing.
For me, I really love Kate Bromberge, the Driven series covers. Just they have so much meaning to the story. So it's I love it. I also love her Hard to Hold cover. Those eyes on that cover model. So I think from the whole series, that has to be my favorite cover. And this was the reason I picked up the book. Pretty Venom by Ella Field. Not only is the book amazing, so is the cover. But the cover is more of a illustration cover type. And it's so cute. And once you read the book, you'll understand the cover. It's like when you see the cover, you're like, oh, that's cute. But then when you go and read the book, you're like, it makes sense. And I also love Emily Goodwin. She's become, I love her covers, but she started doing a paranormal, supernatural, more of paranormal series. Just released a new series, a spinoff from the Thornhill series, and it's called Nightfall. That cover is gorgeous. It's so intriguing. It's so sexy. It's so, I loved it. And that whole series, even the Thornhill series, those covers are gorgeous. I really like the Southern series by Natasha Madison. I love all those covers.
Yeah.
They're so soft. They're so cute. They're so that huge small town vibe. I'm also the Something So series, which is my favorite. Something So Irresistible. More Max. Those covers are amazing. That was actually the first book I read of hers, and it was because of the cover. So, like you said, the cover matters.
Yeah.
I love Natasha's covers, but especially Something So Irresistible, and I'm gonna say Southern Sunrise. Those from her, those have to be my favorite. And I love Corinne Michaels' Return to Us, Could Have Been Us. I love the Come Back For Me cover.
Yeah.
Those covers for me are... I love all her covers though, but those have to be my favorite. It literally has all the feels.
Yeah.
And everybody knows Claire Contreras, but her covers for me are some of the best covers out there. And she started releasing some covers like Half Truth and Fables and Other Lies. It's more of, she adds things in the cover that signify something in the story. And I love it because it gives you, it gets you intrigued. You're like, what is this a book about? Once you read the book, you'll understand the cover to the dot. So I love her covers. The covers for The Consequence of Falling, epic. And the cover for her upcoming book, it has to be my favorite. That book has to be my favorite. So when you guys see that cover, your jaws are going to drop. Like you mentioned, Catherine Cowles, her covers are gorgeous. I really like the one that she just Beneath the Wreckage, 5th book in the series. And I love it. I love that cover. The reason I like her covers is because I think Catherine's signature is the watercolor book cover. And I love it. And it's just because her covers are so detailed. So it's like the stuff she adds on it, once you read the book, you'll understand everything.
Yeah.
So I love her covers. I also love the Something in the Way covers by Jessica Hawkins.
That series.
But aren't those covers gorgeous?
Yes, it is.
Love those covers. It's the one with Manning has to be my favorite one.
Yeah. Girl, like I want to buy, I have them on my Kindle, but I don't have them on paperbacks. I want to buy them so much because they're so freaking pretty. But like I will never pick it up again and read it.
I have the first one. I have the first paperback. Slip of the Tongue by her. That cover is gorgeous too.
Yes. That whole series, those covers are so pretty.
I love her covers. Lila James, I really liked her Tainted Heart covers.
Yeah.
Amber Kelly has amazing covers too.
Yes.
I love her Small Town covers. They have all the feels.
Yes.
The couples are so cute on every cover. The guys, I wouldn't mind some limited edition just guy covers, just saying. They're so gorgeous.
I have to say from that series, my favorite one have to be Crazy Hearts.
Mine has to be Stone Hearts and Rustic Heart. Those two have to, I guess maybe because I really like those books, but those covers, I don't know, there's something about, they're so sexy and so cute and sweet. I don't know. Her covers are really good. And with Devaney Perry, I agree with you. She has some of the best covers out there.
Yep.
Yeah, the Tin Gypsies have to be my favorite. And then after that, it has to be...
Can't pick, huh?
You can't really pick. I love all her covers. I do really like her Letters to Molly and the Birthday List covers. I love all her covers. Her covers are epic. I love not only her books, but her covers are some of the best out there.
Yep.
And I cannot pick a favorite one though.
Yeah.
I do have to say, Fallen Jester, from all her books, if I had to pick one, it would be between Fallen Jester or Tinsel.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about Tinsel, that cover is so mesmerizing.
Yes.
I also love the covers for Alexandra Silva, the Virtues and Lies series. I love those covers. They're so mysterious, suspenseful, sexy. I love her. I love those covers. Smoke. I can't wait until everybody sees those covers. They're so good. It's so good. I love it. And Molly McAdams, Firefly, and Whiskey. Even though I love Fire, but I think Whiskey is my favorite cover of that series. Yes, really. Molly McAdams always has that sweet, spicy covers that I love. I love her covers. The Firefly and Whiskey have to be my favorite of hers. And I really love Tramp by Mary Elizabeth. And then she also redid the covers for Closer and Severe. Those covers, the new ones, are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Love them. They're so freaking good. And the Soul series covers from Kennedy Ryan, my favorite. I love that series so much. They're so good. I really like the cover for Fighting For You by Monica Murphy. And it's not just because I love the hero and he's like one of my favorites. That cover is very sexy. The model is so cute. I'm just like, wow, hello. I was like, yes, please. I also do love Ghosted by, I'm not even going to attempt to say that last name, but pretty sure everybody knows who that is. Ghosted. Oh, that cover is so intriguing. And that's actually the reason I picked up the book, because I didn't even read the blurb. I picked up the book because of the cover, started reading it, and I was obsessed. Obsessed. That's a really good book if you haven't read it. This counts as Stephanie Perry, but Will and Ash, the buff, that cover is perfection. I'm so excited for the Brazen. That cover is really, really good too. Something about the way she uses the colors with her cover image. It's amazing. And Royally Yours by Emma Chase.
Yeah, that one.
That cover is one of my favorites. The book is one of my favorites, even though it breaks my heart over and over again. It's one of my favorites. I love more than the ones I've mentioned, but I think those, for me, it's some of my favorites. I do have more, though. I do pick up the book most of the time because of the cover. Yeah. And it's, I don't know, like you said earlier, the cover, important. Oh, I also forgot to mention Monty McLean, We're Made of Moments. That cover is so, loved it. Loved it. See, I think that's it for my favorite covers. For our Bridgerton contest, I haven't picked a winner yet, just because, again, with Easter, plus I was working crazy hours last week, I didn't get to pick a winner, but I'll pick it this week. Announce it via Instagram. I'll email them as well, so keep an eye on that. Like I said, we did go ahead and add a Ask Corinne Michaels any questions in our Instagram, so go ahead and ask her any questions that you might have. We are interviewing her this week. We're gonna make an announcement next week as to when the interview is gonna go up. Keep an eye on our Instagram because we're gonna have more author interviews. We're gonna be announcing who our second author interview is on 30th. We have so many fun things planned. And if you have any questions, just drop a comment below or message us on Instagram. Again, our handle is BookBuzz Podcast. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.